Thanks for visiting the Horizon League Network. I'm Damon Lewis, joined by Joe Gentry, the radio voice of the Butler Bulldogs. Joe, we're about 24 hours away from Butler having a chance to go to the Final Four. Let's first talk about last night's game. What did you see, and how were they able to pull off that win?
I think Butler was really prepared, Damon. They came out with the game plan. They got that good start early, 12-1. And I thought throughout the game the Dogs played well. They had a couple stretches where they didn't. But most of all, I think that stretch at the end of the game where it was 54-50 Syracuse, Butler just played so well that 11-0 run.
Brad Stevens talked a lot after the game about this team being resilient, having resolve. Obviously, you've been right alongside this team for a few years. Is this the most resolute team that he's had in his tenure?
I think so. Very businesslike, very focused. This was where they wanted to be in this position when they started the season. And last night when they were down 4, they didn't panic. They executed, especially on the defensive end.
Now, the players and the coaches will never say it because they're always constantly looking forward. But how much of a program-changing win is that game last night over Syracuse?
I think it is. It's a step that's never been taken, and a step for the Horizon League has done well in the tournament. They've gotten teams to the Sweet 16, trying to make the next step. And I think some people can look and say Butler won the first 2 against non-BCS teams. They're in the Sweet 16. They beat the teams they're supposed to. Well, it was the number 1 seed last night, and it was Syracuse, and I don't know that too many people picked Butler to win that.
Now, you didn't have to calm down your radio partner, Nick Gardner, at all, being a former player. I'm sure he was thrilled.
I tell you what, it's great for anyone associated with the program, and a longtime Butler grad like myself and our fans that are out here. And it's almost makes you speechless to think of what this achievement means.
Now, of course, looking ahead, another incredibly tough opponent in Kansas State. Size, good guard play, so many things that will go into this game. What is it going to come down to for Butler to not only be in the game, but have a chance to advance to the Final Four?
I think the methodology we've seen the last 2 games where Butler takes care of the basketball, where they have just 6 turnovers and 7 the last 2, and then they force the other team to make those 18, because when you look at the last 2 games, that might have been the most important area in each of those.
Has it been surprising to you at all that they've been able to take such good care of the basketball here in the tournament? Because coming down the stretch in the regular season and even early in the postseason tournament, turnovers were a big problem for this team.
Maybe that's a sign of focus, but it's interesting because the Butler teams of the past few years, that was kind of their trademark. They didn't turn it over. This team had some highs and lows, if you will, but that focus again and that protection, and so strong with the ball, I think, is Shelvin Mack and how strong he is with the basketball, and Ronald Nord's playing his best basketball, clearly.
Of course, Butler's defensive effort in this tournament has just been remarkable, holding their opponents to under 60 points. It seemed like early in this season that on the defensive end was maybe an area that this team had struggled a little bit. They got out to that 8-4 start. Do you feel like it's been the defensive effort that's really carried them to all of these wins in a row, 23 in a row now?
Absolutely. I think after the UAB game in December, this team realized if they wanted to play at that next level or get to where they want to go, they're going to have to get better defensively and as a team on defense. And the versatility of this team defensively, I think, is probably the best Butler's ever had because they can do so many things. Matt Howard gets in foul trouble and Gordon Hayward defends the post.
Fun to watch Ron Nord and Willie Beasley on the defensive end, isn't it?
Ronald chasing Andy Routens was one of the great matchups. Just he looked like Wile E. Coyote for those of us who are old enough, myself. And then Willie Beasley, that play he made on the inbounds against Johnson. Who knows what happens if he doesn't make that steal? Maybe Johnson cashes it in. It's a 6-point Syracuse game with 3 minutes left.
Getting back to tomorrow's game, obviously, with Kansas State, 2:30 local time, 4:30 Eastern, back in Indianapolis. Any predictions from you? Anything that you expect to see?
I think Butler will be prepared. It's a short preparation time, but they will know as much as they can about Kansas State. And I've done this team's game for 4 years. They've been in every game since then, so I think it'll be a good one.
Joe, we appreciate the time, and hopefully you've got a flight back to Indy with another game to play just like this team.
That would be outstanding.